Hey everyone, welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 363. It's July 16th, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Kaylee Lynn.
I'm Adrian Michaud.
And I'm here for a few minutes. Trevor.
Yay!
Hi,
I'm so
here
happy
for a
you
few
made
minutes.
it.
Hi. Hi,
So it's-
everyone.
Why do you, it was awkward. Very
What was awkward? Your prom?
Oh, that too. No,
Next time, take a date.
Oh,
Man, fast!
no.
Waste no time.
None. I missed you guys so much.
We miss you too, Trevor.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's nice to miss people. Your empathy is engaged.
Jeez. Can you tell what he's studying right now?
It's so funny. So yeah, I won't be on for very long tonight because I got to get back to the books because I'm doing. I got a major group project coming up, and my own individual project. And long story short, I started the whole class a week late. I'm not going to get into it, but I did. But anyway, I'm all caught up. But now I want to get ahead. The project that's due last, I want to do now, so that when it comes time to do the group work, and everybody hates working in groups. No one likes to be in a group because there's always that one guy, and that's
You mean
normally
you?
me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that guy. I carry my weight and sometimes other people's weights. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. There's only two of us in the group because the ladies bailed on us.
How much coffee have you had?
A pot. No, two pots. I had two
Mm.
pots. Yeah. But it wasn't
Nice.
very good coffee. You know where I get some good coffee? We're going to
Where?
talk about that at some point. Is that a
No.
thing that's coming up? Not yet? Okay.
Not yet.
All right, wait for it then. So anyway, yeah, I'm busting my ass to get this project done now, even though it's not due until the 27th. So then I can put the rest of my efforts into the group project, which will be the last course requirement for this. And then I'll check this one off, crisis counseling. So the course is called crisis counseling. And I found out that I was a week late and I wrote my first paper on crisis while literally in crisis, and I got an A. So the moral of the story is like, I guess if you want to study suicide prevention, be a little suicidal. I don't know. Because if you're in crisis when you write your paper on crisis, bada boom, bada bing, you get an A. I don't know.
Gotta talk, like, there's something about firsthand experience.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That's
Background
right.
knowledge,
Mhm.
bring skill sets
Real
to
life.
the table.
I'd
Yeah.
imagine someone in
Yeah.
crisis would feel like this and this and this. So you're just listing off your own symptoms. Like, what's going on?
That's right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, so I got to get back to the books, but I come to say hi.
Okay. So why don't we actually talk about what we did in guns? You're going to sit in for that portion, then you're going to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick on
let's
you
go.
for a few more minutes and then get kicked off.
Oh, I feel special.
I won't
All
rage
right.
quit. You can kick me off.
Okay, cool.
And
Randomly?
I'll go make you a sandwich.
Really?
No.
I haven't eaten yet. Oh.
I'll send you some Subway coupons.
Okay. Cool.
That's practically the same thing.
It's practically. Not really. All right. What we did in guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Centers, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now, they've got CCI Blazer Brass 45 ACP, the 230 grains FMJs for $539 for 1,000. Oh, hello.
You know what? Jump on it.
Yeah.
You've got a 1911 to feed.
Or a pistol caliber carbine in 45 as well. Or even buy it for bartering. I don't know last week if the email made it on or not.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. I think I replied to the email, but I wasn't on, I don't think, on the show. Anyway, I believe ammo shortages are well on their way. I think we'll see prices go up. The American market drives the cost of ammo up here in Canada because we get almost all of our ammo and ammo reloading products from south of the border. Pandemic, two things happened: hoard the hell out of it, and people were working from home, and it's hard to work on an assembly line manufacturing ammo from home. So if production, I imagine production slowed right down during the worst part of the quarantine.
Yeah.
So the volume of ammo being put on the market by manufacturers has got to be way down. So yeah, it's going to be like when they thought Obama was going to get in, right?
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And then he didn't, and the market crashed.
Luckily,
and we rejoiced.
we won't feel the repercussions of them buying a bunch of ARs and AR parts because
True story.
Yeah, that's not something we have to worry about anymore.
No, we can't even get parts anymore, apparently.
Mhm.
That, I mean, it's one thing to go crazy with the FRT. They were given the mandate in C71 to do what they want, and they are. But man, why does the CBSA think they can just stop parts from coming in? Like, what authority, what law exists?
Well, if you had listened to
Bill
last
Blair
week,
is
we
the
would have.
boss, though.
You would have heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the directive came from.
I get who gave them the directive, but he doesn't. I just don't believe he's got the legal authority to do it.
I got some more news about Bill Blair and the CBSA for later in the news section today.
Sweet.
All right.
Awesome. Okay. Trevor, why don't you tell us what you did in guns this week and last and the week before that? And...
So I only missed last week.
Oh, yeah, you were on there week before.
A couple weeks. You did a lot, though.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, is it in the notes? Let me bring up the notes here.
Well, you went to a couple matches.
Yep.
I thought I didn't talk about those already. I thought I
Mm.
talked about those. Anyway, all right. Let me hold on. You can Adriel edit this out. Edit can Adriel this out. Yeah.
Adriel's gone. No way.
No way. The joke there was I said edit can Adriel this out.
Ska music or something like that.
Yeah. Would you like Adriel to go first and then you?
No, I got it. I'm here. I'm here. Oh, that's acting really sketchy.
I love the fact that you're here. I've
didn't
missed
even
you
update
so
my thing.
much.
Me too. I wish I could
Nobody
stay.
picks on me.
I know.
Adriel's
It's
so
disgusting.
nice.
It's disgusting. If they not only do they not pick on you, like they're actually nice to you. They treat you like people. Next thing you know, they're going to let you vote. Like, what the hell?
I know.
Well, that ought to get some hate mail. If not, I'll try harder. Yeah, they changed the Sear thing and went to practice and then sold the FX9. I talked about all that. I talked.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So since then, we had the Steel Challenge. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we had the Steel Challenge, the fifth annual. Oh shit! Are you guys still there?
Yeah,
we're here.
Okay, I'm not zooming very well. I almost left the meeting. So the fifth, 2 matches back to back. You're right, Adriel. So we had the 5th annual Rodney DeGroot Memorial Steel Challenge at my range. It was the USPSA style Steel Challenge match. We only did 7 stages this year. Yep. I took out the stage with the movement because one of our key guys, Fingers, I'm gonna have to change his nickname because he crashed his 4-wheeler and broke his pelvis. Now he's walking with a walker, and I got these cool pictures of it. He actually has a coffee.
Bogus.
I am talking about Steel Challenge. Anyway, he's there and he's at the Steel Challenge, right? And he's using a walker because he crashed his 4-wheeler and broke his pelvis, and which is why now he needs a new nickname instead of Fingers. I don't know what I'm going to call him, but anyway, he actually has a coffee cup holder on the walker, coffee during the day and beer at night. So it's the only walker I've seen with the cup holder. Anyway, the reason why I took out the Steel Challenge days with the 2 boxes with movement is because he'd have to holster his gun, grab his walker, and move to the next box. It's ridiculous. So we removed that stage from the match, and went well. I just squeaked out a win in production optics by less than a second, but I got it. So yeah. Winning's winning. Yep. Fastest time for the entire match was shot by a club member's son with a .22 rifle. His first action style match, so that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What else of note occurred? Well, the usual suspects came up from Fredericton, except for Poss B, because he's a FUD and he hates cool guns and cool people and shooting, but he loves 300 Win Mags and other obsolete calibers that are not required in New Brunswick. Is that it, Filthy, or is there anything else I could say mean about my
a 338 Win Mag is not required for
no,
maybe like a 338 Federal or something like that.
300 Win Mag.
Yeah.
The last picture I saw of him hunting was from a tree stand. What are you doing with a 300 Win Mag if you're going to hunt from a tree stand? Anyway, and it's some Taka. They call it Taka? I don't know. It's not a brand that's really good or popular. Tika? TikTok? I don't know. Anyway, no one cares. No one cares, Michael. So he didn't make it, and Benito didn't make it, so that's too bad. But the rest of the crew was there: Manderson and Filthy and Ella. Ella shot it with a .22 rifle. She did amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We're working a lot with Ella on her eyes and how her eyes affect her sight picture, and explaining things to her, and it's clicking and making sense. And she's pretty pumped about continuing to shoot rifle, using red dots on pistols because, you know, there's actually, so I suggested a patch that goes over her lens, like one of those flippy ones that shooters
Yep.
use. You know, you clip it on your lens, you flip it down, you flip it. And the name of the patch, and I forget the name of the eye condition she has, but they literally call this patch the same
Did
name
I?
as the eye. Huh?
Did I?
No,
That's
no,
what I would
she
call a
didn't.
patch.
No, I
Mm.
mean, yes, she took a pool cue to the eye in a bar fight in 1982, but that's not what. No, it's not dead.
That's what I
Anyway,
would call a patch. If I was going to make a patch for like shooting better,
you call it
Dead
dead
eye.
eye. Yeah, you
Yeah.
wouldn't actually call it the name of the condition that affects the eye. That wouldn't make any sense, would it?
No.
Well, that's what these people did. So,
Okay.
All right. I'll look it up.
yeah. So she's getting a pistol, a 22 Ruger pistol that we can deck out for Steel Challenge with a red dot and all that, like straight up Thomas Donnelly cheater pistol kind of thing. So
Cool.
anyway, she did really, really well. She was like, I think, basically middle of the pack with her 22 rifle. So that was awesome. What else? Well, of course, we had the after party. We had the filthy burgers. We did all that stuff. Dave Williams came over and got picked on by Mini Me, Filthy's son. He laughed so hard he almost fell out of his chair. It was amazing. Then the next day we went to the range like we always do. We shot Ronnie's prohibited revolver that Filthy acquired after Ronnie passed. Tradition, we always do that. I brought out my Mossberg Retrograde 590A1. Where is it? Oh, it's in the case. Also brought out my 44 Magnum because Mini Me wanted to shoot that, so we got him to shoot the 44 Magnum. I shot my new to me, Baikal or Baikal double barrel 12 gauge. I gave Mini Me 2 high brass number 5 hunting loads and told him to hold on and punch both triggers at the same time, and he did, and it was amazing. There's awesome video of it. And he shot my pump. He shot the double barrel a couple of times. You know, like I said, he lit both barrels off at the same time. Not a mark. Well, there was a small mark, but he didn't bruise. I was waiting for this big purple bruise to appear by Wednesday. Nothing. Took it like a champ. I mean, it rocked him too, but he just walked away, shook it off a command. It was awesome. Ella was there again, did some shooting. That's where we really identified her eye thing. Did some work with her. She shot with irons, and then I gave her a red dot, and the group just went because she didn't have to try and line things up anymore. She's cross-eye dominant. She didn't know she was cross-eye dominant.
Really?
Yeah, well, it wasn't explained to her correctly. I mean, you don't know what
I
you
thought-
don't know, and she thought that her strong eye, in other words, the eye that works better, and dominant eye was the same thing, right? So
Wow.
her non-dominant eye is the eye that actually has the most vision in it. So it's just been kind of a nightmare.
So
for
she
her.
has, okay. So, yeah. So she also has, she wears glasses and has an impairment plus a dominance issue as well.
You got it. Yep.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess that
so-
wasn't
and I mean,
probably diagnosed.
and you give her a rifle and she immediately tries to do the head tilt thing, right? Where she subconsciously is trying to look through the scope
Yeah.
with her left eye. So it's pretty easy for experienced instructors to diagnose. So
Yeah.
she's on the path. So that was all good. My Squire was there. He rocked the Steel Challenge with a 22 1911 GSG. Did really well.
Cool.
And then the following weekend, I went down to Fredericton to try and do a race and a match. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on who you talk to, which group of friends I'm with at the time. The race was supposed to be Saturday and the match was supposed to be Sunday, but the race got rained out on Saturday. So we went and did a range day on Saturday with Filthy and the family and my godson and Manderson and I forget who else came out. Manderson had these real cool steel targets, so we were able to set up some drills like paper and 2 steel and run it strong hand, run it weekend, and run it freestyle, and it was a really good practice session. And then we picked up all the brass and threw it in the garbage, but took pictures just to torment Mike. What else did we do? I think that was it. So anyway, I missed the match, but had a really awesome range day. And then when they went off to the match, I went off to the race. Yeah.
Okay.
And my next match is Friday, tomorrow night, which is why I really got to get my assignment done. Because
Yeah.
tomorrow morning is going. Yeah, my day is going to start at 6 and end at 11. Our match starts at 6 p.m.
Okay, here's what I think you need to do. I think you need to go and drink a couple more pots of coffee.
Okay.
And pull an all-nighter.
No, screw that. I get up at 6. What I'm going to do is finish the reading.
Okay.
Start the outline of my slides, just the titles and the headings and stuff, and then call it a day. And get up at 6, and after I shave and shower and put my first pot of coffee on, I'll try and complete maybe 2 or 3 of the slides, and then we'll head off to Bathurst. I'll spend the day at the track practicing and helping prep the track for Saturday's race. About 4 o'clock, I'll get in the truck, drive all the way back from Bathurst to the range, shoot the qualifier match. It's a qualifier match. Muffin is the match director now, and his first IPSC match is a qualifier. So this will be done using the IPSC ICS International Qualification System. So you shoot the stages in your declared division. The results are sent off to IPSC. You need to get an alias. You need to register your alias on the ipsc.org website.
What's your alias?
Callahan. And then, because, Dirty Harry is my hero, and get off my lawn. So make my day. And you go back after the results have been submitted, and you find out if you are, where you are in the midget race, basically, So, but anyway, it goes Grandmaster, Master, A, B, C, D. Looking at my scores in Classic, I am an A class shooter. I've never shot a level 3 in production optics or nationals in production optics, but I don't really know where I am. But what's cool about the Steel Challenge, when you score Steel Challenge stages using the default USPSA Steel Challenge format in the tablet, it immediately tells you your class. You shoot the stage. So let's say you shoot Smoke and Hope. Your score is your time. So it tells you right off of the bat if your time is a Grandmaster time, a Master time, and I think I only got A in one stage. It was the struggle was real. Like I said, I only won my division by a half a second, and was third overall. There was a guy that the top pistol shooter was Jeremy somebody. Jeremy, his brother, his name is Andrew Smith. Jeremy Smith. He built like a tank, and he's a hell of a shooter. His brother Andrew's a hell of a shooter. I think Andrew won production. Jeremy won single stack and had the highest overall pistol score. The highest score was 22 rifle, and then it was Jeremy with his single stack, and then me with my production optics gun. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that.
All right. I guess we'll turn it over to Adriel. Adriel, what did you do in Guns this week?
I put on a maple seed at Lloydminster.
Yay!
Yeah. So I also got to stress test out like some ultralight camping gear, so like a bunch of like small, tight little stuff for hiking and camping and that kind of thing. So
How'd it go? You're still
fine.
here, so you didn't freeze to death.
No, it was too hot actually. This stuff was. I got like this this sleeping bag that packs down into about yay big. That's like made of down and that kind of thing, so it's really warm. But the mosquitoes wanted to get me bad. Like this tent, like the mesh is very close to your head, and there are like 100 mosquitoes just trying to get me at night.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah, but yeah, I did the maple seed. It was really well set up. Andrew does a terrific job of prepping up his range. Like by 7 o'clock the night before, everything was set up.
Yeah,
the shooting line.
He's fantastic.
The tables, all the stuff. He had like a plan printed out with how to make it square as well, with like doing diagonals on it. It was like, this is way fancier than I do it.
All right, Andrew, we're going to clone you and we're going to take you everywhere. I think so.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. He'd painted little boxes for everyone, so we could keep like the COVID distancing and all that kind of stuff. So it was very, very, very well put together, very well thought out. Yeah. Cool. The actual, and it was supposed to rain. We didn't get we got like 2 or 3 drops, but like that's it. So that was it was fantastic. And
so we didn't get the guaranteed downpour.
been rained on yet for maple seed this year. Always this weekend. Always
Okay.
this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hope.
This weekend, I'm doing another one at Chaz on Saturday. And
Yay! That's
yeah.
sold out. I just had a look.
hmm
That's awesome.
Yeah, sold out. And all the Chaz ones have sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which is good. Maybe I should add another one. I don't know. I'll have to get through August and see if I'm still married at the end of that, because between August and September, I think I've left one weekend open. I think I've left one.
You should
weekend
do
open for
something
family
really
stuff.
big. Something really big with family.
Yeah, probably go
Yeah.
on a road trip or do something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I won't be road. Well, I will be road tripping every other weekend, but
Right.
that was good. And yeah, people like we had one father and son walk on, and I had the spots, so we got them in, situated them with some loaner rifles, and the dad qualified with a loaner rifle, just kind of coming out. So that was really good. Just goes to show that you don't need like anything fancy, like just a plain 1022 with a scope on it is.
As the guy who had like the highest score forever with a Norinco bolt action rifle, you don't need anything fancy to be successful in maple seed. Shut up. Just shut up.
Well, there's that too, but
Yeah, there's that.
That's because I'm
Well-
amazing. That's not because it's like.
It's called skill. Mm.
So two things. One, you can do it with a shitty rifle, and it helps if you're amazing.
Does.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So-
Just shoot like thousands of gophers growing up, and weird.
They're
There's some
good.
like rifle skills here.
All right. A shitty rifle doesn't make you amazing, but an amazing shooter makes a
Makes
shitty
a shitty
rifle amazing.
Correct.
Something like that. There's that
Yeah.
good scope, bad rifle analogy too.
Yeah. Put a Glock
Mhm.
in Michelik's hands. It's probably fine. Put a Glock in
Right, yeah.
Stover's hands. It's probably fine.
Yeah, you gotta have
do
the
well
best
with it.
setup on your RC car in the world. If your tires are garbage, you're not going to do good. If you got a shitty setup and good tires, you're going to do okay. You're going to do a lot better with a bad setup and good tires than a good setup and bad tires.
Yeah.
We bring
So-
it back to RC.
Got to bring
Okay.
it back to the RC somehow.
Well, you want to talk about the Norinco bolt action rifles? Fine. I guess it
that
is a gun
shooting?
podcast.
No, I don't want to talk about Norinco bolt
Uh.
action rifles. They're not that
Yeah.
interesting. And besides, they're not that popular either. So we'll talk about
There's a
some other
reason.
mods.
You should be sponsored by them. After laying down that
Norinco?
number, right? Like, look what this rifle can do in the right hands.
I got another Norinco here too. I'm going to be talking about later.
Well, the reality is lots of training, lots of work, and you're going to be a good shooter. Doesn't matter what gun it is.
Doesn't matter. Like, if you put the Norinco in your hands, you should just get a kick in the nuts, no matter how good a shooter you are. Just be like, you think you're going to do what with this? Open up, crack right in the mommy daddies.
Now, if I were to shoot a maple seed with like an unreliable 22, I think that's what it would be like. Something
mean
that
like
just
a
didn't want to
Norinco?
run. Well, you can't make a
Oh, a
bolt action.
1022. Yeah, I'd rather use a Norinco than a 1022. That's,
Whatever.
Some 1022s.
Yeah.
You have to oil them like after like 400 rounds
Ah.
in like a high heat. You have to re-oil them. You
High-
can't run
yeah.
the whole day. Yeah, can't run the all day. A lot of them have to get
I mean,
another spritz of
1022s
oil.
are great. Once you take them out of the box, remove everything from inside the rifle and the stock from the outside,
Yeah.
replace it all, then you got a good gun.
Don't forget the
Yeah, no
trigger.
problem.
Don't forget the trigger.
Yeah.
then do something about the mag release, too.
You know what? Yeah.
Like I said, everything.
So I need a new barrel. I think I'm gonna get a new barrel. I'm gonna get one of those gray birch ones.
Muffin
Mm.
just
Wrap.
put something on his, and
Yeah,
I can't remember
baby.
what it is, but it's phenomenal.
Carbon
Was it
wrapped. Yeah.
carbon wrapped?
Not muffins, no.
No.
I think it was a Dalasque
Kelly's
barrel.
Kelly's
maybe?
looking at a carbon wrapped one.
Are you really, Kelly?
Yeah, I am actually.
That's sexy.
It's a $400 barrel, but I got friends.
in low places.
Yeah,
I
think
would
I'm
know I'm
gonna
one of
hit it. Yeah, that's true. That's why I like you, though. Alright.
Yeah, that's about it. I'm just putting on maple seeds. What about you, Kelly?
I have I did a little bit. So the maple seeds, it's basically, oh my god. So as they say, like release the Kraken. As we got events happening now in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and New Brunswick. New Brunswick. It's going to happen in August. So it looks like
I'm
we're
not sure I
gonna-
understand your analogy.
It means that we, just I don't know.
We're
Anyways.
all
I know
scheduling
you
all
don't
the
know. That's why I
events.
called you on it, because this is
Shut
very
up.
humorous to me. It's like she has no fucking idea what she's
Release the
talking about when
Kraken
she.
means just like, right?
Good
All
way
over. The tentacles are all over the
That's a great way to
provinces.
articulate your idea. It just seems blah.
You know what? Why don't you,
Release the Kraken, blah. The Kraken of maple seeds.
why don't you go and like study or something?
I just gotta get a few more digs in. I need my fill. It's been a while.
Hey, and while you're releasing the Kraken,
That look. Yes, Adriel. Sorry.
after this weekend, you'll only Alberta will only have a 4x lead on the rest of the country in terms of number of maple seeds put on.
Everything's a contest.
Yeah, whatever.
He's kicking your ass. Because he's in Canada's Florida, where they have no F's to give about COVID.
Texas.
So-
I'm in Canada's Texas. Thank you.
Yeah,
very
but as
much.
far as your attitude towards COVID, you're in Florida, buddy.
So my next, somebody asked me if they today if they could go for a run with me on a weekend, and I looked at my weekends where I'm not having a maple seed or traveling to New Brunswick to have maple seeds or whatever. So I'm scheduling him in for the end of September.
Yeah, you want to run in the summer, but I can really get you into September. It's not really
No,
summer
that's
anymore.
I
Yeah.
hear you. Like, I'm trying to schedule a sailing trip with Captain Andy, and I'm into the second week of August.
Yeah, it's
And
like
I've been trying to schedule it since the Atlantic bubble thing happened.
oh, you
and
get
I
to
still
go and
don't.
see him.
I hope so, but I got to figure out when my next course starts, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, so I'm just saying that BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and soon New Brunswick are going to be happening. So I have a maple seed this weekend that I'm going to be going to. Yay! But yeah.
So
What?
what if the New Brunswick Quebec border closes?
What if it
Does that-
closes? Then we
Or stays closed. Does
It
that
stay-
mean because you crossed through Quebec to get to New Brunswick, you'll have to quarantine for 14 days when you get here? And
Yeah.
if that happens, you're not coming?
No, if I get over there and they let me in and everything is fine, and then all of a sudden they close the borders, I'm staying at your place.
Yeah, that's fine too. But I'm saying,
What
does
happens
the
if I can't?
Quebec New Brunswick border have to be open between New Brunswick and Quebec for you to not be required to quarantine upon arrival?
Yes.
Okay. Because there's talk that it's going to stay closed until September.
Right. There's also talk that it's not.
Yeah, of course. And there's talk that, there's also talk that COVID is man-made. I mean, there's
5G. I'm
know,
going
and-
for the 5G towers. That's where I'm putting my money.
Hey, we're the murder hornets. God damn it, I was promised murder hornets. Not
The-
one murder by hornets. I've murdered hornets, but I haven't seen them do their share. They're not doing any of the heavy lifting. Anyway.
Maybe in the warmer places.
Maybe talk to Crosno.
Mhm.
Okay. So the other thing that we did was Project Maple Seed had a draw for a sweet rifle, and we had, remember I was talking about those patches, they were available $50 a piece, and we were thinking that it was
Oh,
going to
yes.
take a couple
Yeah.
of weeks and all that. Yeah, they sold out in 5 days.
Of course they did. That was the rifle thing, right? You could run
Right.
a big, cool rifle.
It's the PGW Coyote in 308. So it was awarded 2 days ago. A guy named Mark Milne won it, and then we also actually gave out a couple of 22s as well. So it's awesome. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who bought a patch. The patches are actually going out, and the rifles are going out too. So yay, it was fun. The Ontario Hunters Education Program. Guess what? I'm going to be taking it, but in Ontario, they aren't doing in-class sessions, so they're moving it over to virtual. They did it, they activated it last night, so you can go online, you can take the first portion of the course, and it's $25, and then the second portion, which is the exam, is $100, and you arrange that with your examiner, and then you do it all virtually, and then you can be able to hunt, and that'd be me. So I'm going to be doing that. I haven't actually. Last time I logged on, it wasn't ready yet, but we got the message that it was ready, and I've been doing other things. So I'm going to take that, and I should be able to have that done by next week. So got a mail call in. So I got some things. So Call Sign 66, which is a fantastic company. They actually, veterans supporting veterans. I bought their coffee, Bolt Action coffee, and then I also bought some of their gear as well, because the gear, all the profits from it go towards supporting veterans. So I bought their stuff. They were on the show recently and talked about it. So I went and got it, and it came in the mail. The other thing that I also bought was this stuff. I went and bought some stuff from Just Hunts, and it came in the mail too. So I got lots of shirts and stuff to come in the mail. So I'm all excited. Adriel and I were talking before we went on air. Adriel asked me how many hats I have for, that are gun related. I counted them last week, 32. So this is number 33. I have a lot. I can wear one for almost a different one for every show.
I can't do it. After a while, I start throwing them away. I get so many hats. I actually have like this hat rack thing in the back of the closet going down to the stairs. And once they start to get, tripled up on the little hooks, I'm like, all right, this is nuts. And I start tossing them out.
If you were a farmer, you would go put those on the posts next to your house, and you'd have a bunch of posts with hats on them.
Why?
Is that only the thing that Albertans do?
Why?
Yep, man, that's only a you. That's a you problem.
No, I have lots of hats. I'll wear one every day, different one. Anyways, Gunny Girl calendar. We've been doing a lot of work on that. The deadline was yesterday, and we reviewed it, and we got some great girls that are going to be in the calendar this year, and soon they'll be told that they're going to be in the calendar. And we've been organizing all kinds of stuff and a photo shoot and everything. So watch for that. It's probably going to be out in end of October. And Skeet Night, Wednesday night, usual Skeet Night deal. Met up with Kelly Kincaid. We shot around a skeet. First time ever that Kelly and I tied each other. We didn't do as bad as the week before, and we didn't do as well as we normally do. So
how well do you normally do?
About 15 out of 25.
I was going to say 14. Oh, I did miss the crow kill.
What?
Oh, I'm looking through the comments on our live feed.
Yeah.
Filthy whacked a crow, but unfortunately I missed it.
Whacked a crow where? On a what? How?
He shot and killed a crow.
Right. Where? I asked.
Somewhere legal.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Okay.
Are you a cop? Well, you asking so many freaking questions.
Well, you mentioned.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He whacked the crow. That's all you need to know. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah. Next thing he's gonna whack a pigeon. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Maybe the pigeon disrespected his family or something. I don't know.
Get back on your stool.
I love that. I love that cartoon. Okay. Are you done?
Cartoon.
Are you ready? You got your threshold of tormenting me, or are you done?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna miss it when I leave.
Okay, when did you stay? We won't be that much longer.
No, I got to go. It's 8:30. I appreciate you guys entertaining me for this long, and yeah, I'll be back next week to tell you guys that I qualified somewhere between midget and suck. So, but I mean, no matter what, I'll still be better than Luke Godet. I mean, that's a given.
Aw, he's watching, by the way.
I know. That's why I said it. I love you, Luke. All right, everybody. Have a good night. I got to hit the books. I'm reading about suicide prevention or something like that. So maybe I can use this chapter to talk myself down after I don't qualify as an A.
Okay. Call me if you need me. All right.
All right.
No, I want to avoid suicide, Kelly. I'm not calling you.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
The joke there is talking to you would make me want to kill myself.
I got that.
Funnier when I have to explain it. All right. I love you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
He does know that. Anyways. So let's get on to the next section of the show. We have a new sponsor. Telios Alpha is the Canadian digital agency that works exclusively with the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, website, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. You guys actually should check these people out. TeliosAlpha.com. Telos. Is it Telios or Telos?
Telos.
Okay, you should check them out and go and patronize them, especially if you're a business that works with firearms. So yeah. So we have some upcoming events. Do you want to cover this one for Tumbler Ridge? They included it, by the way, they included a photo this time. So
yeah, Tumbler Ridge Action Shooters are hosting a 2-day 3-gun PCC match in Tumbler Ridge, BC this weekend, July 18th to 19th. Match fee is $80 for 2 days, $40 for a single day. They've got catered lunch, I love catered lunches at a
Oh
match.
no, me too.
Both days and a prize draw ticket included with match fees. Full details are on the Mighty Peace 3-Gun Facebook page. With 20 shooters registered for 2 days, they'll also be adding a Marlin XT17 to the prize pack.
Sweet.
They included a picture of what the prize pack is, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty
It's
good
a
little
good.
prize
It's
pack
a good
for 30
prize
shooters.
pack. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got a pretty good chance of winning back. Like, you're not supposed to go to a match just to win back like what you paid with prizes, but you got a pretty good chance at this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So CRPS, just want to remind everybody that they're selling the Founders Coin for fundraising. I think there's still some of that are available. It's a limited amount though. If you buy one of the coins, go to this. Before you do that, go to CPRS website, and then you can buy one of the coins. It's $50, and you'll be entered to win one of 2 rifles. You can win a Tessera.ca. It's a CZ4 457. It comes with everything that you need to do some long-range precision rifle shooting. Or there's also the Go Big Tactical. It's the Vidu V22, and it's got trigger tech built in. It's like really tricked out as well. So you can choose if you win. So they're for drawing for the 2 packages. If you win, you'll have a choice of which one you win. All right. The other thing that, as I said, Project Maple Seed has actually recently released some of the events. We're constantly updating our website as well as we get more and more events in. I just want to say that Ontario is now in stage 3. That's right, stage 3 of the COVID recovery. So I'm actually getting started to get contacted by ranges again. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're adding to them as we go. So not only in Ontario, but right across the country. But and the Ontario events that I have posted, they're all sold out, by the way. So
yeah, that's something I noticed. Your events sold out like really quick.
Like in a matter of 12 hours. So get on it. I'm just saying. So here's some of the ones that are going to be happening that still have event space available. So Winnipeg, we're there August 4th. Virden, Manitoba, August 6th. Medicine Hat, Alberta is August 8th. Sherwood Park, there's space in Sherwood Park. How'd that happen?
Members only.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so you have to be a member of the Sherwood Park Range to shoot those ones. But those are both the ones we have at Sherwood Park have spaces.
Okay. So that's August 9th. Saskatoon, there's one on August 11th and one on August 12th. They both have spaces available. Tabor, Alberta, the first one is sold out, but there's still spots in the second one that's on August 18th. You got Provost, which is August 22nd. Campbell River, BC is August 23rd, and Kamloops, BC is August 29th. Go to mapleseedrifleman.com and you can sign up there, or you can actually go to our Facebook
page.
Yeah.
Facebook
it, and then there's a link there and everything, and then you get to talk to us and you get to get all the stay in the loop and all that stuff too. So those are the ones that are currently available. We'll be adding to them throughout the year as we add I was going to say matches as we add events. Yeah, I'm supposed to pay you $1 if I say matches. Adriel has a habit of saying matches, and I say, you owe me $1. So I owe him $1 now.
Shoots.
Events.
Have shoots.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for events. If you guys have events that are going to be happening that you want to promote, email them to us and we'll talk about them. We'll let people know. Okay. In the news, do you want to cover the news first, or you want to do donations? I think that we should do
the donations, then I'll do the news.
Okay. So the Abbey multi-gun. So they haven't been able to have their matches because of COVID. So they took all their match fees and they donated towards the CCFR legal fund. So they donated $525 recently. So good on them. The Practical Shooters of Algoma donated $500. Metro Rifle Club $500. Maple Leaf Revolver Club $1,000. Red Deer Fish and Game Association $2,500. Bridgeport Rod and Gun was $5,000. Quisnell, I think that is.
Quinnell?
What?
Quinnell?
Quinnell? Okay.
I think so.
Rod and Gun, 1,500. The Aurelia Gun Club was $5,000. Squamish Valley Rod and Gun Club was 3,000, and CFRAM out of Montreal was 3,000, and Timmins Golden Nugget Conservation Club was $2,000. This is all donated to the CCFR Legal Fund. If you've donated money to the legal fund, let us know, and we'll put you up here too and give you a shout out. Okay, Adriel, why don't you tell us what's new in the news?
The JCCF backs the CCFR Court Challenge. This is the Justice Center for
Oh yeah, I
Constitutional
posted
Freedoms.
this.
Yeah, they announced their official intention to intervene in the CCFR's court challenge against the OIC gun ban. So,
Okay, so a lot of people are asking who are they, what they do, and so it's a group of lawyers. Most of them are in Alberta, and they do pro bono work for basically injustices. So they're going to be backing the CCFR legal.
neat.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome. Okay.
This next one here, I think I got this out of a CSSA. Yeah, CSSA newsletter. They noticed that the tabled government budget for the CBSA cuts to that's a link to the actual budget. So it's
I
a
see that.
budgetary report from Bill Blair. If you Control F on that thing and you go and you search for budget and you go about 2 down, you get to the table of how much they're actually going to spend, and it shows a $238 million cut right off the top.
Yep.
For next year, which is kind of funny because they were talking about how most of these guns, like the guns used by the Nova Scotia Shire, were smuggled into the country, and now they're cutting, like, this is a substantial chunk of their budget getting cut off, and they're supposed to be people that are stopping the smuggling from happening.
Right. So the Liberal government, they got elected on the campaign promise that they were going to add funds to the CBSA to help battle importation, etc. And yeah, no.
They did add some funds in one of the areas, but then they took the whole budget and chopped that thing down.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys know that with everything that's out of control right now with the budget, and well, there is no budget, let's just be real, right? So the spending that's currently happening, there is going to, if there's any service or any public service, either this government or the next government that comes into place is going to chop it.
It'll be the next one, because right now they will just put it out on deficit, and then until they get an election done, right? They can't actually chop that much until they have another election done.
That's true. But
even
I'm just saying,
this CBSA one doesn't take effect this year. This is like 2021 to 2022.
No. Yeah.
So like those officers won't be laid off for a while yet.
It'll go through attrition or whatever. But I do know that things are going to happen if you expect services. Yeah, you're not going to be getting them.
Yeah. Either they have to increase tax or cut service. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, just.
Yep.
Okay.
Neat.
What else? What's new in guns?
New guns.
Yeah.
There's a couple places that had this, but this is a really good promo. Dante Sports and a couple of other places had the Beretta 1301 Tactical Gen 1s. Let me share my screen here just because it's more interesting to look at pictures. For $12.69, I think this is a fantastic deal for these shotguns. The 21-inch is real short and real pointable.
Yeah.
So for 3-gun and that kind of thing, it's a pretty good little shotgun. Pretty good. You can't put a huge tube on it, but who cares? Yeah, you could just have it go past the barrel like all our friends in the U.S. do.
Yeah.
And pretty neat little shotgun. Pretty good price too.
Cool.
And then the other one here is some places are starting to bring in more Tavor X95s. So Bullseye North, aka Bullseye London.
Why are they doing that? Do you know?
Huh? Why are they bringing in the
It's
X95?
Yeah, no, I was just being funny. Never mind.
Because we don't have anything else.
Because we don't have anything else.
Yeah, that's
Listen to last week's
one
show.
of the better alternatives.
Yeah.
$2,600. You can pre-order them, but they do come in different colors. So
I know.
black or green or tan or one of them things.
Yeah.
This is the
Pink.
non-restricted version. So
No pink.
no pink. I mean, you could rattle can it just as easy.
Yep.
Yeah. This one was not last week, but I missed it when it got out. Cadex is offering their Strike Evo Nuke chassis, which is like a polymer aluminum hybrid thingamabobber. They're offering it for the Tikka T1X22. So if you're looking to tack out your Tikka this is it. This is actually the same chassis as that that one that I had in 6.5 Creedmoor that I was using to
Yep.
shoot that stuff. Yeah.
They're nice chassis, actually.
It is a nice chassis and fairly reasonable
Yeah.
price too. So.
Yep. Super adjustable
Mhm.
too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I keep forgetting you're sharing the screen. I want to scroll.
How do I scroll back?
It's not working.
Yeah, this other one, I didn't know that these were coming out so soon, but Savage, and it kind of seems like Savage Axis is supposed to be like their budget line, right? But then they just kind of got wild with it. Now we have things like this, the Savage Axis 2 Precision. This is a Savage Axis, but it's got a heavy barrel, and it's in an MDT chassis, and it's skeletonized, and it runs AICS mags, and it has
It's
like
$1,000 bucks.
It's $1,000 Axis.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of neat.
Mm.
Yeah,
Get in,
heavy barrel.
Get into the PRS Oct with.
Yeah, well, it's in 223, but then they've got it in a couple of like oddball calibers. Like, I don't know what the point of getting a heavy barrel precision rifle in, and I like 270, but why 270? Why a precision rifle in 270? It's like a hunting round, right? It's like a traditional hunting round. It's not a precision round.
No, but maybe, I don't know. It's not really it's not a hunting rifle, really.
Not
this
really.
version of it, right?
No, it's 9 pounds. Like 9 pounds is very heavy for a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
So, but they also have it in 308 and 223 and that kind of thing. So if you wanted to play PRS and
you can
cheap,
use.
that's what you could do there. Yeah.
Yep, it's cheap.
Let's see. Oh, if you're on Instagram, both the Maple Ridge Armory Renegade and the Spectre Ballistics LPC videos on those being used are both out.
Yeah, I actually watched the Maple Ridge Armory one. It's awesome.
Yeah, they're both really good. I think for the Spectre Ballistic ones, I think they did it at a 3-gun match because he showed the video and it's like, oh, there's a bunch of 3-gun guys like shooting the rifle on video. So I think they must have done it at a 3-gun match, just cracked it out at the end of the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they both look good, and I'm happy to see the selection coming out.
Right. Now it's a straight pull, right? The Renegade. So I was watching it. Yeah, not all that fast, obviously, because you have to work the bolt, but still.
You have to take your hand off the gun, right? Like like there's not really a fast way to do it because you gotta take your left hand and take it off the support and do something with the gun and then get it back up there.
Right.
Yeah.
Ryan did the video. He's still proficient in it. Like I wouldn't be able to do it half as fast as he was. So.
Yeah. What else we got here? Oh, I haven't heard of these things. Apparently they're pre-ordering them. That's how many they're selling right now. But the Hops Air Vault. This is a long-term gun storage bag. So like the bag itself is like permeated with like anti-rusting stuff in it, so that you can store guns for long periods of time.
I wonder if they're selling a lot of these.
They are. Yeah, they are selling a couple of them.
I'm being.
I know. I'm just being straight.
Trevor, remember when I said that you were nice to me and Trevor was not? Well, guess what? Well, you're nice to me. This is Select Shooting Supplies, by the way. Go over to the website and you can get this.
Well, you can pre-order it, but these are hard to get right now, especially in Canada because people are buying them. Mike from Canmore recommends this style of firearm storage bag very much.
Mike's such a good guy. I like him.
This last one, and so for a while you couldn't get MCarbo stuff direct to Canada because they didn't have an export license or something like that. But now there's Wolverine's bringing them in. So Wolverine's got a big selection of MCarbo stuff. They generally make like springs and trigger pull kits and that kind of thing. So if you've got an Axis or an SKS or a PCC or something like that, and you want to like tune up the trigger and that kind of thing, they've got a pile of different little kits for it. They're pretty cheap. They're like $20-$30 kind of a thing, and swap out the springs and get a much better trigger pull. And they also have a Ruger PC Carbine muzzle brake that looks kind of mean. It's like a big old chunky looking thing, and all sorts of other stuff. Ruger PC Carbine extended mag release. Oh, interesting. Huh.
Let me see.
All sorts of like go fast stuff.
Oh,
right here.
Look at that. Yeah.
stainless steel guide rods for 226s, Glock trigger spring kits. Yeah, all sorts of interesting stuff. Anyways,
Cool.
check that out at Wolverine Supplies.
All right. So let's talk. Who actually asked us to do this?
A listener,
Was it Josh? Josh V?
maybe.
I think, yeah.
A listener.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
Popular gun upgrade. So Adriel is so prepared, you guys. This is unbelievable. But he got a bunch of guns that he has, and we're going to talk about what upgrades that need to happen to these. And these are popular guns as well. These are, not the unicorns, but something that you're probably going to have in your gun save. So let's start with the 1022, the gun that Trevor hates apparently, but I love, and you love them too.
I
So,
would say there's pros and cons to the 1022. Like there's
of course.
some things that I really like about it, and there's some things that are definitely showing their age in the firearm.
Yep.
I would say, like, if you're looking at common mods to throw on them,
Mhm.
a scope is a good idea because
Yep.
scopes are accurate. If you're going to run a scope, you also need a cheek rest of some kind. Now
Yep.
you could just put some foam and wrap it on there, or you could get something like this off of eBay.
A little bit more
I think this is
permanent.
like $20. It's got like a leather padded cheek piece on there. You can pull foam out of there to make
Yep.
it a little bit lower, or you can add foam in to
Make
kind
it
of
higher.
move it a little bit higher, that kind of thing. So that could just get you a better cheek rest while you're shouldering the rifle.
Right.
And the other thing that you might want to do to your 1022 is actually on the inside. 1022s come with I would say a bolt release that needs a design update.
Yeah.
And the bolt release looks something like this. And the thing that you need to update is you need to actually cut out, there's like a little, this one's already been modified, but this oval hole here usually has like a point
It-
on it. And you
right.
need to Dremel or file that guy out to do what's called an auto bolt mod to it. So it's pretty easy to pull this thing out. It's pretty easy to do the cut. And then once you've done that, when the bolt is held open, you can put your new mag in, you can pull the bolt back and then release, and it'll just go. And
Right.
you won't have to like fiddle around with the bolt release on there. So that's in my opinion, a pretty important mod for the 1022.
Right. So that's the first one that I suggest people put in there. I also suggest the silicone buffer with pin, which is cheap. So you can get the auto bolt release. You can buy it from DeLast Canada. They carry it. Same with the buffer pins as well. They're super cheap. Or you can if you're good with a Dremel like Adriel is, you can modify it yourself.
I
It's
wouldn't
on
say I'm
YouTube.
good with a Dremel, but I have one, and I have no fear of using it. So
See, that's good with a Dremel, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I do see with a 1022 is the rail on top. A lot of people will mount the scope, and it's you'll match your scope, and it's way too far back.
Yeah.
A lot of
Something
people.
like this.
So
Something
buy
like
the
this.
that's
Yeah.
too far back. So buy the extended rail as well, and then you can move your scope a little bit forward. So if you get into any positions, especially in the prone position, it'll be your eye relief will be good. And yeah. What else
Mag
with
release.
that? Mag
Like
release.
this one doesn't have the
yeah.
real poo one. This one's at least got this toggle one here. But some of the more original ones have this flush
Yep.
thing that you push, and it is just horrible. It is just absolutely horrible. At least with this one, you can just press that, and it's fairly tactile.
Right.
Some of the nicer ones are bigger. Some of the ones go around the trigger guard. I have one of those. I have taken it off because I just don't like it. It snags on too many things, and if I snag it with my hand or something like that, it drops the mag out. So,
Which is an issue,
yeah,
when you're trying to shoot.
Too convenient.
There is so Men at Arms. They made the nicest one in Canada. They're not making them anymore. It was right at the front of the trigger guard, and it was a flat paddle, and it was made out of aluminum or machined aluminum, and it was a really nice one. They're not making them anymore. So people who are asking about it, I suggest they go back over to DeLast and get the ones that it'll curve around the trigger guard, and it's the one that you might hit accidentally and drop your magazine. But still, it's better than what you have there.
Yep. In terms of trigger, there's a couple of drop-in triggers for these things.
Yep.
There's the BX trigger that Ruger has, and then there's also like you could just go with a Volquartsen hammer and
Which is in Cheap Fix.
yeah,
The hammer and sear is a cheap fix. It's about $100. Well, BX trigger is about $150. You can
Mhm.
get a Timony for about $350, $400, and you can get the Kid 2-stage trigger, and that's actually it's anywhere from $400 to $600 depending on that. Yeah, which is
Mhm.
technically more than the gun's worth. But yeah.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and then you can do barrels and you can do stocks. It's like the Lego for adults, right? It's the one
Yeah.
that most people, we
it's a
change it at
platform.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a platform, and with any gun that becomes a platform, like there's just you can make
So
a
much.
1022 that has no Ruger parts on it.
Yeah, that's
so
true too.
you can do as much as you want to with it.
Or you can buy the Bergara, which has almost everything, all the upgrades, and just there.
Run that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The extractor is the other one thing that you should probably try. You change it right at the beginning to get a Volquartsen one.
Mm-hmm. I've
Yeah.
done that on one of my 1022s, but not the other ones. The other ones are just stock.
The last Volquartsen one that I put in was, I changed it. I estimated it was about 35 to 40,000 rounds. And then it got worn at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What else we got? Marlin 795?
Yeah, let's do that puppy.
I mean, I've got one with the spring mods from M Carbo in it. Those are handy. Really crisps up the trigger, and they replace the trigger from the polymer one to a flat-faced aluminum one. It just feels nicer. It feels like a more solid trigger on it. Trying to think of the other stuff I've done on that thing. I mean, it really reduced the trigger pull weight on it. Get a couple of extra recoil springs, because when you're disassembling it, one of those times you're gonna kink it, and you're gonna bend your recoil spring, and it's never gonna, like, it's always gonna make this weird grinding sound when you run it back afterwards. So just have a couple of extra ones on hand for when you make that mistake, because they're like $5 each.
I was just gonna say they're not all that expensive, and
You're
get
gonna
a couple
do
extra.
it. It's gonna happen. And other than that, maybe like a new stock, because the stocks on those things are quite cheap feeling.
Yeah, a nice Boyd stock actually works well on those.
Yeah, I ran a Boyd's on mine, and my current one doesn't have one because it's for my kids, so it's like the plastic's pretty lightweight. But I might sell that one, because I think that the Winchester Wildcat, I just prefer it, and they prefer it, and it's lighter weight.
It's lighter.
It's way lighter.
Yeah. It's way lighter because the stock itself is cut out, right?
And it's plastic.
You got so much removed on it. So yeah, it's going to be lighter for them to carry around. Yep.
Shotguns.
Let's do shotguns.
I put a question mark on it because, like, so some guns I mod for competition, and for competition I don't need them to be like reliable in like undue hazards. I need them to be like reliable for the competition that I shoot them in. So for like an IPSC pistol, that means like if it can be fine if it won't run in dust and mud and that kind of thing. For 3-gun, I need like a little bit more reliability. For hunting, I will almost not mod anything because I want like ultimate reliability on it. So for like a shotgun, I don't do a lot of mods on mine.
So
maybe like a high vis bead on the end.
Right. So it's depending for you. I know it depends on what you want to do with that. Like you pimped out like your shotguns for 3-gun. You took Dremels. Dremels, and you extended 2. But you're with hunting, as you said. You didn't. You're not doing anything. Yeah.
Stock. I don't mod anything on my hunting rifles. Like, oh, sorry, on a hunting shotgun rather. Hunting rifle, I might do like a trigger mod if they have like a crappy trigger. But these days, a lot of the manufacturers come with a decent trigger out of the box. They come with like a Savage AccuTrigger or a ripoff of the AccuTrigger, so they're almost all pretty decent. I did replace, like, my boy's got an Axis 1 in 243, and that's the old trigger. That's not an AccuTrigger, so I replaced the trigger on that one with the M Carbo one, and that really lightened up the trigger pull on it.
What are some of the, so you're talking about lightening up the trigger pull. What are some of the benefits of that, and what are some of the cons of that?
Like
I already know, but
the benefit of a lighter, like when you're hunting, you're typically not firing off a bench with a sandbag and all that other kind of stuff. So when you get on target, you may only have a second to get your shot off. So a lighter trigger pull will disturb the rifle less and will let you prep the trigger and get that shot off quicker without disturbing the rifle.
Right.
The disadvantage would be
it's a lighter trigger.
The lighter trigger. I mean, if you aren't running your rifle with the safety on, or if the trigger has been lightened to the point where it is unsafe,
yes,
you can do that. Then you have an unsafe rifle.
Right.
Yeah, it's possible to do that.
Yeah, and specifically, I'm asking because some people don't know. Some people say, oh, I'm going to put in a nice new trigger group, and it's going to be 1.5 pounds, and all you have to do is just sneeze on it, and then you give that rifle or you give that shotgun to somebody who's not used to that. I gave my rifle to somebody who's an experienced shooter, and yeah, he was a little surprised by the rifle going off.
Going off when they're just prepping it,
Yeah.
I mean, this has got a factory trigger in it, and it's got a bit of a prep, and it's got quite a bit of weight to it before it goes off. And if you went from that to like my AR trigger, for example, which is like 1.5 pounds, you would be squeezing that shot off a little bit early.
Right. So
yeah.
Let's talk 1911s, our favorite subject.
1911s are interesting because they're a platform. I think like as a gun design, they're outdated, but as a platform, they're super interesting because you can do all sorts of stuff on them.
Right.
I've got some real practical mods on this GSG 1911. So I would say practical because sights and that's almost all. I have disabled the grip safety on this one. Browning didn't originally have a grip safety on his gun on this design. It was added as a request, and I believe it was for like cavalry, like horse-mounted people needed a grip safety so they could like drop their gun all over the show and act like cowboys and not have it go off. And competitions and that kind of thing, this grip safety is, I don't think it's a good design. And I get a lot of hate for it on YouTube and that kind of thing, but I've disabled this grip safety.
We are not saying that you should disable any safeties. This is for entertainment purposes.
I'm saying the grip safety is a dumb idea. I know now. If you carry a pistol, then maybe a grip safety might make sense if you're not going to run any other safety and you're going to run like a light trigger press. Like the thing about a 1911 is that because it's a single action, it doesn't take much to get that off in terms of trigger press. And there's no other like passive safeties on a 1911 except for the grip safety. Newer guns have a lot of passive safeties on them that are quite good that take care of that kind of thing.
Yep.
Now on my 9mm 1911, I haven't chosen to do that, and that's because its grip safety has this little bump on the back, and that makes it pretty reliable to hit. The issue is if you're running like a really high grip on it, sometimes you don't get enough palm on the grip safety to make it disabled. But that's why some of these have this bump on the back to deal with it, whereas this one doesn't have it. I put a lot more mods into this thing too. Like this guy has quite a bit fewer. With this guy, trigger, springs, sights, barrel bushings to tighten up the barrel lockup on the front. That's in there. This one has a full-length guide rod on it rather than actually I don't even know what this one looks like here. Rather than a partial, I guess, right?
Right. So you're talking. Did you buy a spring kit right off the bat, or did you?
I sent it to Trevor and I said, "Do
it?
Go nuts with this." Yeah.
Okay.
In the past, I've modded my own 1911s. I would say that this one's like it's super smooth cycling. The cycling on it's so nice. The trigger press on it is beautiful as well. It's got a 3-pound trigger, and you can see there's like practically no take up and practically no over travel at all on it. So the trigger press on this thing is fantastic. I was like, as we were talking about doing mods, I was like, man, that 1911. So one of the things I want to do is put a red dot on here. So I want to mill this out and put a red dot. The other thing I was thinking about doing was getting a compensator, either a barrel bushing one that replaces the barrel bushing,
Yeah.
or a different barrel that mounts a comp on it as well. So I'm thinking about that. Other things you might want to consider: extended magazine release.
Yep.
Just because these don't have like a huge magazine release on them from the factory. And the factory one is quite small. You see that little guy there? I have big hands, so I have no problem hitting it. If you have small hands, you'll definitely want a.
Have you thought about putting the larger safety on it as well?
They both have ambidextrous safeties.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys like to run that big safety that goes way out there, so
So
that
they
they can
can
rest
put
their
their thumb-
thumb on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I can rest my thumb pretty well on this one. I don't actually like the thumb high grip. I don't actually like it on a 1911 because it just doesn't feel quite right. I don't know, that's me though. I don't like the thumb high.
Okay.
I would rather run it a little bit tighter and a little bit lower, like my right thumb. But I recognize that for some people that gives them a lot more control over the gun, because just by gripping really hard on it, they can hold the recoil a little bit better. But some people will grips. Yeah, definitely grips. I've got nice wood ones on here because I don't care about performance so much on this yet. I've also got some G11 like scalloped, like really grippy ones. I do have some grip tape on the front of this thing, so that when I'm holding it, that part doesn't want to move. There was no stippling or anything like that on this thing from the factory, so there's skateboard tape on the front there.
Yeah, that's one of the cheaper things that you can do to get a little bit more texture and grip is just put skateboard tape all over it.
Yep. And then
drop it.
This guy has a magwell on it. So it's typically on a 1911 you can get a magwell and this mainspring housing as well that kind of go together. And that's the deal with this one as well. The mainspring is attached to the magwell on it. It just makes it a little bit easier. It's still not as good as like my Glock, for example, for a magwell, but it's better than a factory magwell, which is like, I don't know, pretty
super
sharp and squared.
Tight.
Yep. So there's a lot of things you can do to a 1911.
Again, yeah, there's lots on the market for it because it's been around so long.
Yeah, and because it is kind of standard, there's still some stuff that's not super standard. Like I couldn't just go pick up another barrel for this thing and just drop it in. Probably won't work. I'd probably have to bring it to a gunsmith to get a barrel installed in this thing and properly timed to the lugs and whatever nonsense Norinco has put into this thing, right?
Correct.
I could just drop a barrel into my
Glock. And look how sparkly that is too. Ooh.
This is my glitter Glock. I was running this thing for 3-gun for a while, and there's a couple really nice things about it. Like it's the grip is very grippy. So this like where we shoot 3-gun, it's a little bit muddy, and that mud can sometimes like you get your hands greased up, and then you go to pick up your gun, and it's like all squirrely on you.
It's like a grease pig.
Yeah, no such issues with this thing because this thing's like holding on to a bunch of gravel. I shot a 2-day pistol course with this, and on the second day, I started wearing gloves because it was too much. It's actually wearing away a piece of my palm on my support hand because I was gripping hard with the support hand, right? A couple of the mods that I put into this one. I'll talk about the ones that I think were the most important. The magwell, like a big magwell. Yeah, and because it's a double stack mag, it's such a nice big target to go for. So like dropping a mag into this thing is just so easy. So I would say that is the number one thing with a gun like this, if your sport handles it. Again, if I did that in IPSC, that would put me to open. So this is not a good open gun for IPSC.
So Glocks are plastic. They're lightweight, right? So compensators.
Yeah, some guys run a comp on theirs. A comp in 3-gun puts me in open, so I chose not to do that. But you can do other things to try to build on the weight. Some guys will get, I don't know if you can see there, but that's a little bit of brass there. This actually has a brass plug that goes into the grip a little bit. So this does add a little bit of weight to the bottom of the gun, non-reciprocating weight, which is the most important. I also have a tungsten guide rod there, so that's just a little bit of heavy weight right in front, right here, to try to keep the gun again contained with recoil. It's also got a better trigger,
Nice
Dawson
trigger, yeah.
sights, yeah, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then I've also modified it with an undercut right here for the trigger and an undercut on the trigger guard, and that's so that your hand can sit a little bit higher up on it, because again, that cutout is there for this finger to get in there, and then this guy right here, that cutout is for your other hand to fit in.
Sport side.
Yeah, which
Right.
they
Did you do
do
that?
with
Did you do that yourself, or did you send that off to get
myself.
again a
Yeah.
Dremel?
Mhm.
So the other thing that you do to add a little bit more weight is you've added the base pads to the magazines as well. Right?
Well, yeah, but that's also because I've got this magwell here, so
Yeah.
it, like, if I tried to use a factory mag with this, I would have
Right.
to like push it in. So I need the extra
You need the
extra
length.
weight. Yeah, I need the length there to give something to seat against on this pistol. So I would say, like, in terms of reliability, this pistol's fantastic. It just works all the time. I would say in terms of shootability, even though I've put a pile of money into it, it's still not as good as this
your
Shadow
CZ.
2. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
because like CZ has designed these things to be cheater pistols in IPSC,
Yeah.
kind of cheater pistols. Like, even the weight is just obnoxiously high. It's 3 pounds with a mag in there, which is getting up there. And if like all those things I was talking about on the Glock, like the weight low down, the weight below the barrel, non-reciprocating weight below the barrel, like you think about a CZ, look how much weight they've got. Like, that's a big dust cover. They
That's
even got
huge.
rid of all the grooves so they could add more weight there, just squeeze off a little bit more, right? So they've really optimized this thing for good shooting. This would be a terrible carry pistol. You'd never want to carry this as a military or police or anything like that. And if you look at the slide itself is also very thin, very small, and lightweight. So light reciprocating weight,
Yeah.
heavy the rest of the gun, dual action, single action. So it's very good out of the box.
Right. Now the CZ Shadow 2 comes with better sights than the 1. Did you change
debatable.
the
Debatable. Like, the Shadow 2 comes with these angled sights here. I don't like these compared to the Shadow 1. The Shadow 1 has squared off sights.
Yeah, it does.
Not these angled ones. Here, I'm going to aim at myself just so you can see the sights on there. But you can see how they're like angled at the top. I don't really like that. I don't really like it. I mean, it doesn't really stop me from pulling the gun up and getting it in the right spot, but I would prefer just a flat back on the back there.
Or do a modification and change out the sights.
These sights are so expensive. I'll just deal with it. You know what I have done to, there are a couple things that I've done to this gun so that I could, so I could shoot a little bit better. I have put in the short disconnect on it, so you can see that there. That is actually quite a bit further out if you don't have the short disconnect in there. So the trigger press is a little bit shorter with that. I have changed into a competition hammer. And what that does, the competition hammer, it also kind of contains the sear engage surface on it. So by getting the competition hammer, the trigger press is less. I have swapped in lighter springs on this thing just to, again, make it work with a lighter trigger press. And with less flipperosity because I've went with a lower recoil spring in this thing as well. Yep. The other thing I've done with this one, because again, 3-gun, I've got a magwell in it, and magwells are awesome. Awesome. In a double stack magazine, a magwell is fantastic. Like, I would say, like a magwell in a 1911, like, it's better, but it's still quite a skinny thing to be aiming at. Whereas this is like a cavern to be aiming at. It's a night and day difference.
It's a big hole.
It's a big hole. Yeah. I have not changed anything else on this gun. So
you changed the grips though.
Oh yeah. Well, when you go to a magwell, you have to get short grips, but like they're functionally the same as the ones that came with the gun.
Right.
I'm trying to think of other things. I changed the fiber optic front to a green rather than a red. I don't personally care. I think red's fine. I have no real difference there. I could get larger safeties. So right now I've got the thin ones on. I could get the thicker ones on there. I heard mixed results though, because I was talking to some 3-gun guys and they're saying, yeah, I had the thick safeties on mine. I dumped my gun and it
And
bumped
it
the safety
hooked?
off.
Yeah.
Bumped the safety off. And then I got, DQ'd for dumping a gun unsafely, right? So and the other thing is that for IPSC, you do not use your safeties. You put the hammer down and you run it like that, and then your first shot's DA. So I wouldn't use a thick safety for IPSC either. So I just haven't bothered. I just leave them thin and unobtrusive and out of the way, and I don't worry about them.
Mm.
I don't think I have anything. Like I really haven't done I have done quite a bit to this thing, but it's been like springs and triggers and hammer and that kind of thing. I could go for a single action trigger in this. If I was just going to do 3-gun, I would probably get a single action trigger only, because the advantage with those ones is that there is no take up. Like even this little take up here,
It's gone.
single action trigger
Yeah.
doesn't have it. Yep. I shot, I think it was Dustin's pistol in Calgary. He works for ATRS. And he had a single action in his, and it's like, oh, it's right there. It's like a 1911 trigger, except you've got a double stack heavy pistol. Incidentally, like the weight difference, this is quite a bit heavier than a 1911. So unless you start adding like brass grips and all sorts of other weird stuff on there. So sorry, I've been nerding out about pistols and all sorts of
No,
other weird
that's what
stuff.
everybody's been asking for. So let's talk about it. Do you have your Savage axes there with you?
It's in the safe. I've got a M Carbo trigger spring kit in it. Boom, like huge difference. I can't remember what it put it down to, 2 point something. So like factory trigger was like 4 pounds, and with the spring kit in it, it went down to two something. So nice and light. I wouldn't mod anything else because again, hunting rifle, I don't want to change too much on it. Should just work.
Just a good scope.
Yep. I swapped out. I took the factory scope off of it, threw it into my closet O scopes, and it'll never get mounted. Maybe I'll put it on a 22. I don't know.
Give it one of the kids. No? Put it in kids' rifle? No?
This is the kids' rifle. That Savage Axis is the kids' rifle.
Okay,
and that's like, no, the scope's still not good enough. I put a Cabela's Covenant on there, just something that's got a little bit more clarity.
Which
to
are
it.
pretty decent when you really think about it. They're made
And
by
a
the same
243
people
is
that
not
make
gonna. It's not gonna
Vortex.
generate too much like damage to it,
No.
right? So I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
SKSs are kind of interesting.
Yeah, you can do anything and everything to an SKS.
So some people are like, when it comes to milsurps, some people say don't change anything because that's a piece of history and you'll regret it someday. And for some guns, like that's accurate, right? Like for SKSs, the price is starting to go up. So it's starting to get to a point where like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have like painted it green or painted it pink or spray painted it or like augured out this thing or that thing on them. But they're still
Tapco stock.
pretty cheap. Tapco stock, yeah. Well, I mean, if you've got short or long arms, the SKS stock as it is built is usually too short. It's like it's got a very short length of pull on it.
Yeah, it is.
So for a lanky dude, you might need to get a Tapco stock or get something. There, you can change the put a slip-on butt pad on the back to give yourself a little bit more length to pull. That could work. Practical mods, I would do the trigger again because most SKSs come with a pretty bad trigger.
Bad. Yeah, they're horrible.
You can get a spring kit from M Carbo on Wolverine, or I think High Cal had some too. They had some spring and sear kits. There's a Murray sear kit that you can get. It's a sear, right? The sear engagement on it is horrible. It's like practically wartime production or just slightly post-war. So the sear is not going to be that good, and it's old-timey, like 50s or whatever production. Or if you got like a Chinese one, you've got the finest in their manufacturing, which is not very good either. So even stoning that surface and then doing something with the spring, it helps a lot, and it just makes the gun more shootable.
Okay. Anything else? Wasn't gone, or do you want to go
on?
on?
You could pull the bayonet off the SKS too. That's another thing you can do if you're not going to use it. Pull it off. The bayonets are kind of handy as like a monopod. If you're out like, I don't know, hunting with it, or you need to make like an accurate shot, you can put the bayonet out to the vertical position and then stab it into the ground, and then the gun will hold itself, and you can use that as like a field expedient monopod, which is kind of interesting. There are some sight rails and that kind of thing for the SKS. I don't really like them. I prefer to run the SKS as it was designed, because then it can run corrosive ammo and it's easy
Yep.
to clean. With no mods on it, the cleaning on the SKS is super quick. Rotate the receiver pin, take the receiver cover off, to pull the bolt out, give it a quick scrub. It's super quick to do, especially compared to some of the earlier rifles that also run corrosive. I wouldn't run the magazines in Canada just because we only have 5-round mags anyways. The stripper clips work really nicely. So why run a 520 magazine that sticks way out the bottom when all you can do is fit 5 in it?
Yep.
Yeah. Mosin Nagant.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a brake. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend putting a brake gun in your Mosin because it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
You may want to run a slip-on recoil pad on your Mosin if you're going to do any amount of prone shooting with it. The stocks on those things are the worst. They're designed in the 1800s. This was an outdated design when it was designed. Never mind for the next 50 to 100 years that they've been used. So like the stamped steel butt pad on it, a lot of them have like really sharp edges. If you go prone or seated or anything like that, you're going to start getting cuts or little marks on your shoulder if you're running like a thin t-shirt. So you might want to run a slip-on recoil pad on that, or they have a replacement one that you can put on there as well, a crappy like tire rubber butt pad that you can put on the back that would be nicer as well. Same things go for like optics mounts on Mosin Nagants. It wasn't designed really well for an optics mount, so unless you have like a sniper Mosin, and you probably don't, there's probably not much of a point putting like an optic on it. There are a couple of stocks that would make it a little bit more functional, but I think like with the Mosin, back when they were $100 or $150, like there's a case to be made. That is a very cheap hunting rifle. $150, you can run 7.62x54 soft point. Yeah, that's a cheap deer getter. But these days, when Savage Axes and like there's so many cheap hunting rifles that are $300 and take a scope or come with a scope and come in a cartridge that's made like that has better availability. I would run one of those before I run a Mosin, and the prices are up on them now anyways. So they don't make a practical hunting alternative, and they aren't practical when you start adding like $100 for a stock and this and that and the other thing, just especially compared to the other stuff out there.
Yeah.
So now like some of those ones that are a bit more expensive, like I think that not modding them is probably the thing that makes sense. You can do a trigger mod. There's a Iraqi veteran 888 has a trigger mod. He documents how to do a trigger job on the Mosin. It's pretty easy in terms of like mechanical things you can do to guns, and it makes a big difference. That's a good one. Yeah, I've done that one to mine because it's not changing like the historical aspect of the gun, right? If you're going to refinish the stock on it, you might want to try doing the traditional finish on it as well, so that it doesn't ruin the collector's value, because the value of those guns are going to start slowly going up.
Cool. You're a pretty knowledgeable guy, you know.
I play with a lot of mucking about with guns. I think with the SKS
like
price might go down
too.
And I've had a couple of these, like especially red rifles. Like I've had a lot of those. I'd love to talk more about like ARs, but no point in talking about
yeah. So why do you think that the SKS is going to go down in price?
Because there's still more of them out there.
Yeah, there is, but
there's still more of them that can be imported. So there's still the possibility that we can get more of them in Canada.
Freshnet Crane, he says the Mosin doesn't need any help being obnoxious. So when you were talking about the muzzle brake,
yeah, it's the thing is, it's not even that strong a cartridge. Like I was talking to someone who's saying like 7.62x54. Oh, it's like way up there. It's like a 30-06. It's way more than a 308. And it's like, no, it's not. Look at the energy on both of those things. It's 308 energy. It's just a crappy old cartridge that was made in the 1800s. So it's like it's no better. It's just the stock is designed really poorly, and it hurts when you shoot it. If you shoot that thing prone, it's not particularly pleasant. Yeah. Whereas the SKS is fun to shoot because it's using an intermediate cartridge, 7.62x39. It's like so nice to shoot. That thing doesn't bang you up.
Cool.
Are there any other
That's
kinds
awesome.
of guns I'm not thinking of? I don't know. Like
Well, we were trying to do just what people have a lot of as
Popular.
opposed to
Yeah. 1911, Glock, 1022. Those seem like the most popular, like platform guns out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Listener feedback. People have been chatting about the various things, but yeah, that's about it. Listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearm accessories, optics, and more at DCGunsmith.ca. Yes, he's updated that website too, so everybody go check him out.
Neat.
You can go to Facebook, or you can also check him out on Instagram as well. Say hi. Tell him we sent you. All right. Do you want to take this first one from Robert?
From Robert. Hello, Slamfire crew. Firstly, I'd like to thank you guys for keeping me entertained on my drives to and from work and school. Right now, I'm working the summer in Toronto. Traffic's killer. As well as giving lots of interesting information. I love the 2 recent episodes with the cops on 3-gun. I'd like to ask, now that our kind and glorious leader has banned all of my fully semi-automatic 15-clip magazine ghost guns, what sort of guns do you recommend for a 20-year-old university student, specifically a good budget gun? Do you have any recommendations for a pistol or rifle? All the best, Robert.
And then, so he wrote this in, then wrote back and said, what are you looking to do with that? So he has a follow-up email as well.
Follow-up, I'm just looking for a good plinking gun, but also durable enough that I could take it for small game, and the budget is under $700 for the gun.
What?
1022?
We just talked about it and everything that you could do. So a good little plinking gun, something that you can take for small varmint hunting. And yeah, so that's a good little rifle. Norenko, if he's talking pistols, Norenko, get one of those.
I think for $700, I'd get a Glock, because that's, you can get a used Glock. And the thing is, like, a lot of guys who sell their stuff on Canada Gun Nuts, that was good thunder there. A lot of people who sell guns, they put like 1,000 rounds through them, and that's like nothing compared to what that gun's capable of. The gun gotta go to like 100,000. You just replace a couple springs once in a while, and you're good to go. So I think the used market is definitely the way to go. Take a look at new, take a look at used, try to find a good deal on used. You might be able to find a gun that comes with like a bunch of mags or something like that. For $700 for a plinker and small game, like small game to me is like rabbits and squirrels and that kind of thing. 1022, and maybe trick it out.
Perfect.
Trick out the 1022. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe get one of those Savage B22s or A22s. There's a couple things that are nice on those.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what I would get right now. I mean, they all work. Like for small game and that kind of thing. Like I had the Ace that I was showing you guys, Savage Ace, that little like single shot Cooey, the Cooey Ace. That was fun for small game. I shot rabbits with that thing. It's like, this is the crudest implement ever. This, like, it shoots 22, but like that, like even that's a stretch. And it was fine. It was like for small game hunting, it was fine. So the bar is not very high there, and I think that practically anything will do that. So just think about what you want to do, what you want to get into. The nice thing about the 1022 is it's a platform, so you can mod it,
change it,
lots with it. Yeah. Getting those guns that are de facto platforms in their area is really nice for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so we got another email from Josh V. He says, while hunting with a rifle, hunters often tape the muzzle to protect from debris, snow and rain, etc. But what about hunting with a shotgun, utilizing birdshot? Does it affect the shot pattern at all? Pros and cons. And since we're on the topic, any stories of exploding barrels? Well, there's lots of those. So yeah, a lot of people actually will tape the barrel, or they'll put plastic over it or whatever.
Barrel condom on it.
Condoms, yep. Just keep, especially when it's winter, right? To keep the
raining,
snow,
or if you're gonna
or
go on like a real hike and it's gonna be like an adventure, and you're gonna have like most of your hunting is going to be hiking and like doing some like nasty stuff, and then you need to make a shot. Yeah, I would put a little electrical tape or something like that over the end. I used to do that, but I lazy hunt these days, so I'm not usually at
okay.
a risk to get anything in my barrel.
Right. So when you say hiking, there's a difference between armed hiking, like just going for a stroll, and it's like
Mountain hiking.
mountain
Yeah.
hiking.
Yeah, if I was doing anything like hardcore like that, I'd probably tape the muzzle or get like a condom on it or something like that just to keep stuff out of it. Yeah.
Right. What about shotgun? He's asking.
I don't
Shotguns are a
know,
little bit more forgiving.
Well, when you're waterfowling, you're usually like in position and you're not like running around or anything like that. When I go for grouse and that kind of thing, if I used a shotgun, I'm on trails, so I'm not bush busting to go shoot a grouse. I am usually on these nice trails because they're at the trails, right? That's if I use a shotgun. I use a 22 for grouse though.
So, but his question is also, if you do tape it or do anything to it, is it going to affect the pattern?
I don't think so,
Yeah.
because it's there's gas in front of the shot that's getting pushed out as well. So that's probably going to blow whatever tape you got off of there. And just the way that shot works, I don't think it gives a damn about like a tiny little bit of plastic right at the muzzle. You know, though, if you were interested and you wanted to try it out, go to your range, or go to wherever you can, get a patterning board, and shoot at it with just your regular shot, and then shoot at it with tape over the barrel and see, or tape over the muzzle,
the
and
difference.
see what it does. Yeah, I can't imagine it'll do anything. If you have to DIY, just get a sheet of plywood or some crap to shoot at, and put like a crappy old like Christmas wrapping paper. That's really good because it's nice and wide, so you can put that up there, shoot at it, see what the pattern does, rip it off, roll out some more.
Yeah.
Get at the dollar store, get like the cheapest, crappiest Christmas wrapping, or the old stuff that you've just like
Frosty.
had in your attic.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Frosty. He's asking about exploding barrels. I think he's asking about exploding barrels from taping, not just exploding barrels. I haven't heard anything
Not
about
on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think I've never seen a barrel explode. I've never seen from
not even with a squib. I've seen
one
some.
One second. No.
Oh,
I haven't.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you?
I've seen the pictures of somebody's rifle who's exploded because of shooting and with a squib load. Yeah, like it's like it peeled.
Yep.
So,
Did the old octopus thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah. No shotguns or anything like that, but
shotguns do it a lot because the barrel walls on them are very thin, and they don't expect a lot of pressure. So when you give them a lot of pressure, they're like, "Nope, I'm out." And any like high pressure rifle cartridges would probably be the same, but generally like rifle barrels, like these days we like heavy barrels because they're more accurate and stable and that kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas with shotguns, we generally want a thin wall, just good enough to do the job, kind of a thing, right?
Okay. Spencer, you get this one. See, I designed this way.
Very nice. From Spencer. Hey guys, on the ammo front, you're not alone. We're seeing prices for 9mm and 223 and 5.56 almost double what they were pre-COVID. This mainly seems to be due to all the new gun owners buying defensive firearms in the US, with a lot of people who thought the 2016-2019 prices would last forever. It is interesting that this time 22 isn't involved, though. I guess with riots breaking out across the US, no one's really concerned with plinking. A lot of other calibers are still available as well. Even though the 380 and 45 are in short supply, the price on 357 SIG still hasn't changed a bit. Well, yeah, I don't think a lot of people are buying 357 SIG, so it's probably just one of those ones that's nice to have. One point I heard mentioned was that this shortage may be worse than the previous one simply because COVID has shut down or reduced output at many ammo manufacturers.
Right. We just
sounds like a lot of the folks seem to think we won't see normal prices and availability again until next summer at the earliest. The last episode about the Tavor was kind of interesting. A couple things jumped out at me though. First was that I doubt IWI would have not been able to do training in the U.S. because the class was too combat focused. Even the most restrictive states haven't gone down the road of trying to restrict training.
I think no, but I think what Chad was talking about, his ability to go down to the U.S. to take that training, and I do believe
Canadians
it's based
can't go
on Canadians can, so it's based on ITAR. Okay, go. Sorry.
Yeah, so just to clarify there can be an issue of Canadians going down to the U.S. to train and ITAR, and whether that's exporting
Right.
firearms training. The last episode, sorry, I said that already, blah, 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 blah. I also don't really see the point why you would point a bullpup in an unsafe direction when you wouldn't with a standard AR. You don't have to point the muzzle up or on either platform to get at the bottom of the gun. Just rotate it with the muzzle pointed downrange like you would with any other rifle. Maybe on a battlefield, the Magpul style workspace with the muzzle pointing up in the air is considered okay. I can't see any range in the US letting you get away with it though. And speaking of bans and bullpups, are AR-style PCCs affected by the OIC bans? It would seem like they would be more AR-like than a Turkish shotgun, but consistency doesn't seem to be those folks' strong suit. I don't think any PCCs have been banned yet.
We haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
But like the Turkish shotguns were something that they had banned earlier and then unbanned because they're like, wait a minute, these aren't ARs. And then rebanned later because they're like, actually, we changed our mind. We're back on the bottle and it's an AR.
I'm wondering if it was a woman who decided that, because we have we can change our minds a lot. I just
no comment. No comment. I'm not. No, no, that's bait. No way. I'm not going for that. Let's see. Also, do you guys get the Desert Tech guns in Canada? While the original MDR bullpup had a bunch of teething pains, the new MDRX is cheaper and seems to work great, especially in 5.56. I believe we do, but I haven't seen them.
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen those yet. Keep up the good fight, Spencer. P.S. If some company up your way was smart, they'd be buying up all the ARs they could in Canada and shipping them here in the States. Between COVID and riots, you can't find an AR on the shelves these days, and the ones that show up at stores get snapped up at 2 to 3 times their prices last year. Just saying.
Wow. So Freshnet Crane, he says the Scorpion Evo 3 was banned.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Correct. Yep.
He is correct. So yes.
That's an odd one.
Yeah, no.
That's an odd one to ban.
Well, hello.
Scary.
Everything else, like whatever else is on there, is also odd to ban as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's no rhyme, reason, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just squint. It kind of looks like an AR.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to email the show, you can do so by emailing us at slamfireradio@gmail.com. All right. Patreon supporters, we don't have any new ones, but we would like you to come on board so that we can keep putting out content, awesome content like this, and giving you information. So check us out on patreon.com, or you can even go into our website and click on there and support us. While you're on the website as well, if you're looking for anything to buy at Cabela's, just click on that that link too, and they will also send us a little money every once in a while.
I confirm that their changing affiliate thing was just for the US.
Oh.
So Canada is fine.
Okay.
No change. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Adriel, do you have any shout outs?
Shout out to Andrew for setting up such a kick-ass range at Lloyd. Shout out to Kevin for ITing with me and kicking ass there.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, it was fantastic. That's all.
That's it. Okay. I wanted to give a shout out to one of our IITs. His name is Chris Campbell. He has a new podcast. I want you guys to go over and check it out. It's called the De-Educated Podcast. It's about life, culture, and violence. The podcast explores topics related to education, self-improvement, politics, martial arts, health, science, firearms, and life in general. That's what they put on their little thing, so I just copied it. But it's a really, really cool podcast, and they're pretty cool guys that are on it too. So, a couple of my faves. Check it out. Recently, they were talking about COVID. They were talking about firearms, the OIC, and that. So, and they have some pretty good guests on there too. They just put out episode 4, brand new. go and check them out. And who else? Corey is one of our listeners. Hi, Corey. And he sent me a link about somebody who's carrying a Gila. So thank you about that. I'm going to go and buy some of that today.
I was
And
gonna say I had seen some of that stuff, so I think it is out there.
the ones that I want, that's hard to find. You can get
Mm.
Interceptor, you can get a bunch of other stuff, but the stuff that I like, you can't really find. And that's about it. Justin, it's his birthday today. Just give him a shout out too. So, okay, that's it. Okay. All right. Please join one of the National Firearms Associations, such as CCFR. Go over and visit them, buy membership, make a donation, help them help us, basically. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. We have a forum over there, or link thread, whatever, on the forum too. Like us on Facebook. We're at 2,681. And then also, go and talk to your counselors, your municipal counselors now, because those are coming too. You gotta know that.
Talk to your municipal counselor, Kelly.
Oh, my municipal counselor, he hates me. I'm surprised he hasn't banned me or unfollowed or oh, Twitter. Yeah. So basically on Twitter, he hates me. Yeah, he doesn't like me very much. I haven't been blocked. I'm surprised.
Gotta do something.
I regularly talk to people in Kingston that are part of the municipal government.
Mm.
Yeah, so go and talk to people. Let them know you're not happy about that. Okay, that's it. Bye, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.